Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Wednesday, August the 25th. The year is 2021. Let's talk trading. Unconscious with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and Walmal's. Walmal, you did something you didn't realize you were doing it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I took 10 to 12 trades today, and I actually netted out with 28 pips for the day, and I sent you my account report, and just took a snapshot of it and sent it to you, and then you came back and said something to me that was very interesting that I didn't even realize I had done it, and that is all those trades, all 12 of those trades, they were all buys, and I didn't realize I had a bias of buying today, and and that could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. I think a lot of times it really could be I guess let me go and cover the bad part about it first. The bad thing about it is that, we sometimes get in our head that the market's going to go up. The market's going to go up. I'm just going to go and buy it. When I get a dip, I'm buying it and I'm going to buy it on up, and for whatever reason, the market doesn't go up and you get burned, and you may be doing that subconsciously. You don't even realize you're doing it, and then the other part is where here's the good part about it, or something that could actually be happening, and that is that you're trading, and I'm going to use the phrase that TRO that you like to use, and you use it all the time, and that is you got to trade what you see, and sometimes that's exactly what happened. That's what happened here. I wasn't paying attention to the fact that I was taking buy after buy after buy. I was just going in. I would saw an opportunity to go and take a trade, and I took the trade, and I took the trade in the direction that made sense to take the trade in. And so, unquestionably, I probably had a bias in the long direction because, I didn't realize it. But what also may have been just happening was the fact that I was trading what I saw. But if you look at the charts now in retrospect, there was lots of opportunity to go and take shorts. And why didn't I take those shorts? And that's something that, you have to sit down and think about it. And I think for me anyway, for today, the main reason why I think I didn't take those short trades was because I generally, if I get into a trade and whether I win or lose, whether I take a W or take an L, what I generally do is I get up, get myself a cup of coffee, just stretch out, before I sit down again, just to go and recollect or whatever. So I think what may have happened, and I don't know, I have to go and really look at it on paper, throw up a sonic report and see, but I think there's a really good possibility that those short trades would have lined up pretty well with the time I walked away from the computer. But anyway, my question for you, TRO, is this: Do you find yourself going and having an or having a bias in a particular direction subconsciously?
I don't know about subconsciously. Usually it's more consciously because I'm looking at price and I'm thinking, I'm usually thinking a particular method. So it's one of those things where you could say I might have a confirmation bias where if I'm looking to go long and then price gets near to where I think this is a good place to buy, then I'll start looking for confirmation. So yeah, I do have a bias, but it's not unconscious. It's more conscious in my case.
Okay, yeah, and I think that us as traders, I think a lot of times we have to go and sit down and evaluate who we are as people, because that if we know that we do that and it's causing you to take a bunch of L's because of that, well, that's a really good piece of information for you as a trader to know, because then you can go and put some type of rule in front of yourself to go and check yourself on that. Or if it's the type of thing where you realize that you're doing it, but you're not taking a bunch of L's on it, then you know that, okay, this is working, and maybe there's something to go and sit down, and you need to go and still develop that. And here's the reason why: because if you don't understand why you're winning, in my book, that's just as bad as taking losses. And the reason why is because you may be winning for one simple reason: pure luck. It just may be that the market, you're taking wins because the market is just showing you grace right now, and you really don't deserve to win. But if you are taking wins and you've got some type of bias that's going on, sit down, look at your charts. At the end of the day, I like to do this. I used to do it every single day, and I'm going to be honest with you, I generally do it now only at the end of the week. But sit down at the end of the day, look at every single trade you took, okay, and say, why did I take that trade? And I know that's hindsight and everything, but the thing is, it's going to reveal something about you, because there are going to be trades. I guarantee you there are going to be trades in there, because it's true for me, that there are going to be trades in there. It's like, okay, that's fine, I made money on it, or crap, I lost some money on that. Well, why in the world did I take that trade? There is no reasonable reason to take that trade. What caused me to take that trade there? And you need to understand that, because by understanding that, you're now not taking trades in a vacuum. You're taking trades with, an understanding of what you're doing.
Well, I'm wondering though, I would imagine most people would advise that after you take the trade, you write it down right then and there, because it's fresh in your mind. Whereas if you come back, at the end of the session, you might, what's the word? You might do a little revision of history.
Yeah, and I don't do that anymore, but in the beginning when I was first learning how to trade, you're exactly right. I mean, I kept a loose leaf book in front of me, and when I pressed the button, the first thing I did is I wrote down the trade and why I took the trade.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then when I exited out of the trade, I wrote down, what was the result of the trade, and at the end of the day, I then would sit down and look at all those trades and go back and look at the charts and say, okay, what I said I saw, did I really see it or not? Sometimes it's difficult, and I think you could agree with this. It's the type of thing where, hey, I'm going to go and break. Like right now we're coming up to the 30 line right now. It's like, okay, I'm going to take the trade because I'm crossing the 30. Okay, and you write that down on a piece of paper. You take the trade. And then at the end of the day, you go and look and say, wait a second, it never got there. If I'm using the Walmal method, I never got there. Why in the world would I have taken that trade? I said I'd reason why, but obviously I blew it. What caused me to blow it? Was there like some type of big movement? It forces you to sit down and control some of your instincts. Instincts are good, but if you're not in tune with those instincts and are able to control those instincts, you can get yourself into trouble, I think.
Exactly.
And so if one of the things that, we've been sitting here, I'm just going to read off some numbers here for the daily ranges over the last 6 days. Today we have a range of 46. Yesterday was around 54, 122, 39, 126, 66. So we got 2 big days in there where they're over 100. But we got a bunch of days in there where, it's less, it's right at 50 or right at 60 or less. And that tells me something's going on in the market right now where we're very muted. Why are we muted? I don't know. I mean, my answer is to, we like to go and have answers for things. I like to go and say, well, here it is, the 3rd week in August, people are on vacation, people are away from the market, so we're not getting big moves. That may be true, may not be true. I don't know. It may be because of some economic data that people are looking for, and it just hasn't come out yet. It could be a whole bunch of different things. Who knows what that is? But the one thing you can take away from that is, we haven't moved very much. If this was 3-4 months ago, if I'm sitting here at 46 pips right now, I'm saying, okay, this thing is going to bust this. It's going to bust it because we always get 80 to 90 pips a day. We always get 80 to 90 pips a day. Well, we're only got 46. So, okay, if I'm on the plus side of the day, well, and we're still moving in that direction, that gives me a bias to want to go long, right? Because what does price like to do? It likes to move away from the open. And especially if we hadn't gone and completed how many pips it usually goes and completes, that's becomes your bias on it. And here we go. We just busted the 30.
Yeah. One thing I was going to say, over the last 20 days, we've only had 3 days over 100 pip range on the pound.
Yeah. And that's so unusual for the pound, And so knowing that that's the case, okay, we got to go and trade it, trade it a little bit differently. And one of the things I've been doing to trade it a little bit differently, excuse me, is that, sitting there, if I got a Walmal, if I'm trading Walmal, I'm only looking to pick up. And I think I said this on a video last week and the week before. I'm only looking to go and pick up 2 or 3 pips. I'm just sitting there, grab your pips, get out, because and now that doesn't mean if it's moving up and let's say I took the trade at 30, that doesn't mean if it's still moving up, I'm going to get out. No, that's silly. But if price stops moving up, stops moving in that direction, I'm just going to take whatever I got on the table and put it in my pocket, so I've had to adjust because of that. And, that's part of being a trader is just, you got to be able to, trade what you see. What am I seeing? I'm seeing very small movements in the market on the pound dollar. And then in any case, I really haven't looked at any other pairs, so I couldn't tell you. But on the pound dollar, that's what I'm seeing. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to try to get 10 pips. That'd be foolish.
Exactly. Yeah. As far as the ranges, I'm trying to see here which one. I thought I had it. Yeah. Here we go. Today we've only got one pair over 100, and that's the pound New Zealand, or the new beast, as I like to call it.
Yeah, I think that's a crazy pair, man.
But it's just, but the funny thing is dollar yen's at 58.
Yeah, and that's usually about 3/4 of whatever the pound dollar is at. So if the pound dollar is at 100, the dollar yen is usually sitting at 75, somewhere around there.
And then and the euro's only at 34. But I just thought of something. What was different? Or what's really different this year versus, a few years ago? Maybe there's more, the money's moving over to crypto.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. There's certainly a lot more, we're sitting here right now. In fact, I'll look it up right now. But Bitcoin right now is sitting at what? 48,000. A little bit more than 48,000. It's down $100 and something today. But but you're right. There's a lot of money that's getting tied up over there. The other day was Bitcoin was all the way up to like 53. At least I saw it at 53. It may have been even higher than that. I'm not sure. Yeah. But there's probably some speculators that moved the market that have jumped over there because there's a possibility there. But I'm looking at it from perspective, there's enough movement here. I'm not giving up on the pound dollar. Because there's enough movement here. It's not a problem. I made, like I said earlier in the video, I made 28 pips for the day. If you got an account that's large enough to go and support a particular lot size, that could be a lot of money, especially for one day's worth of trading, and that's what I've been seeing. I've been making basically every day, even on these muted moves, somewhere between 15 and 25. Usually today's higher than normal, so somewhere between 15 and 25 pips a day. And as all you all know, all I need to make is 10 pips a day. So I'm making more than I need to. It's just that I'm having to go and I'm taking a lot more trades than I normally would take to go and get to that, making my core. But it's just observing what I'm seeing, trading what I'm seeing, and part of that is I think what's happening is that get back to the topic of the trading, with subconscious or unconsciously trading. I think I think part of that is that at first I started doing it, only getting out of the trades pretty quicker than I normally would. And I had to go and ask myself, why am I doing that? I'm pulling the trigger to get out a whole lot faster than I normally would. Why am I doing it? And that's when I came to dude, what's happening is that the type of moves we're getting warrants it, and I'm trading what I'm supposed to trade. In other words, I'm trading what I see, and that's where we have to all go and get ourselves to the point. It's just trading what we see.
And you know what? The fastest 15 minutes in trading is up once again. So, boys and girls and non-binary traders, I hope that might have given you some insight into your own trading. Because remember, when you sit down at your trading platform, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out. And once again, please hit the like button to help with the YouTube algorithm.